Going on YouTube, Cloverbells here back with another Scarlet and Violet video, and today we're going to be looking at Kommo-O. So this is one of those Pokemon that has, become a little bit popular as of late. People are trying it, of course, because it's one of the new ones that you're getting in the DLC with the teal mask. Now, Kommo-O with this fighting typing, along with Dragon, makes it 4 times weak to fairy attacks. So that's unfortunate for it, right? But at the same time, you have terrestrialization. So the idea is that you can always go Terra Steel here, and all of a sudden, this fairy weakness is gone. At the same time, this flying weakness is also gone because you have the steel typing. And then even, the ice weakness for that matter is also technically gone again because, again, Terra Steel is actually really, really good on Kommo here. And then, just looking at its stats, base 125 defense, 105 special defense, a little bit low on the HP, but as long as you invest a little bit into its bulk, it can actually do relatively fine. Now, it has these 2 moves here with Clanging Scales and Clangorous Soul. This is its trademark, okay? And the idea is you're sacrificing a little bit of its HP, and then you're getting +1 to all your stats, which is actually very, very good. You can play greedy, okay? And then all of a sudden, you're just going for these clanging sails where you're just dealing a whole bunch of damage. You're a special attacker. You do lose a little bit of defense, but again, you got that defense from the Clangorous Soul. So then from here, you just go with something simple like Flash Cannon and then Protect here. And then this is the very, very popular standard set that people are using with Kommo, right? So, again, you being a special attacker means, you don't really care about Intimidate spam. That being said, something like Landorus is still a threat to you because Landorus does have, Terra Blast, Terra flying against you, so that could be very detrimental, especially with the defense drops. So you have to be careful against something like Landorus, which is why, when you play Kommo, I think you always want something like Redirection and or a Fake Out Mon so you can help set up this Clangorous Soul's ability, right? Skill. So then, Bulletproof has been the consensus as far as like the most popular of the abilities to use. Overcoat is quite nice. You ignore, Rage Powder and all that stuff. And then even like, Spore, but Bulletproof is actually really nice. Just think of like Shadow Ball, so now if you go Terra Steel, what is Flutter Mane doing here? You can't really click fairy attacks, and then Shadow Ball doesn't work either. So, you got to pin on that Flutter Mane slot a little bit. And then something like this with Throat Spray, where you're just getting even more damage after you click your sound move. Is actually quite useful here. So now all of a sudden you just have to think about like, okay, how do I support Kommo besides like the Intimidate and the Fake Out stuff? So I'm just thinking like Dragon Fairy Steel coverage here, and then at the same time give yourself some answers for the Tailwind matchups and even the Trick Room matchups, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you some teams that have been able to do that. So this way you can get some ideas as far as like what to use with Kommo, and then from there we'll build our own version. So this way, you get the jack of all trades, all right? So let's take a look at some of these results. All right, we'll start here. We'll start with what has been the biggest tour thus far in Regulation E, the VGC Trainer School Tour. 400 plus people in this tournament. Our team, our Roaring Moon team, was down here from Cell VGC. We'll cover this team in another video, but we did have a spotlight here within the top cut. This is our Roaring Moon team, but as far as like Kommo, of course, yours truly, Mr. Wolf Glick himself was using it. All right, and again, he's using this concept of Landorus. Again, the Intimidate support is very good for Kommo just because, you reduce physical damage, which sometimes Kommo can have a little bit of trouble, especially when you're clicking Clangorous Soul a little bit too much. And then at the same time, you have Clefairy here. So Clefairy is actually really, really good Pokemon here just because you have the redirection support. Okay, and then at the same time, you have Friend Guard, so you're taking reduced damage anyway. So, this is actually a really, really cool idea with the Clefairy. And then Heal Pulse to heal up your Kommo, which is really nice, just in case it takes too much damage, because of the, the Clangorous Soul, because, you are losing 33%. So, like, healing yourself back up is actually very, very important, right? And then you have the Fake Out option here with Iron Hands. So, you might think 2 fighting types isn't that weak to... Isn't that too much weakness to flying type attacks? Of course not, because again, you have that electric typing here, so Iron Hands works out perfectly here. And then you have Sinistcha and Snorlax, and again, I've seen several Kommo Sinistcha teams, right? Because again, you're taking damage because of your setup play, and then you're using Sinistcha to, come in and heal it because of Matcha Gotcha, which is actually really, really convenient. Then you have Trick Room, Okay, so then now you're also enabling the Iron Hands, also the Clefairy technically, and then even the Snorlax over here. So like the Clefairy can also help set up the Snorlax because again, you know, Snorlax being weak to fighting type attacks, you can just redirect those away with the Clefairy and actually does relatively well here. And again, another Pokemon where you're just taking damage, setting up with this belly drum here, and then you're just healing it back up with Heal Pulse. So it's actually really, really nice here. And then even Sinistra over here. So another redirector, a second redirector, you know, with Kommo and Snorlax. So this is actually really, really smart building from Mr. Wolf Glick. All right. And then at the same time, you know, Strength Sap, just weakening physical damage, which is something that, you know, the Kommo and the Snorlax can struggle against. So I feel like it's almost one of the most perfect Pokemon that you can pair with the Snorlax and or Kommo. So Clefairy and Sinistra are doing really, really good job here. And then again, like we mentioned with the Landers, so you got Intimidate, you got Fake Out, you have Double Redirection, you have Speed Control here with Trick Room. You know, you got all the VGC tools here. So Wolf Glick, shout outs to you, former world champion for a reason. So, you know, some smart idea here. But there's more than that. There's other ways to build around Kommo, but again, that's just one of them. Here's another way, right under Mr. Wolf Glick, another 8-3 result here. But similar concept. So you have the Alolan Ninetales. You don't have Intimidate here, but you do have Screens, right, with the Aurora Veil. So this is another way to consider running it. And then at the same time, you know, you can pair it with Chi-Yu, right? Because Chi-Yu just helps special attacks do more damage because, again, of Beads of Ruin, you're just reducing special defenses. And now the Kommo is doing even more damage. Makes a lot of sense. This is also running Flamethrower here, so that's also pretty cool. You know, that's a little bit of a tech over there in that sense because, again, you know, just think about the things that can wall Kommo. Something like a Steel type can just take these dragon attacks relatively fine. So Flamethrower is actually a good coverage there. Then you have Ogerpon and the Rillaboom here. So this Wood Hammer is doing extra damage because of the Rillaboom over here. So, and then even back Scalper. So double dragon actually. So that's actually pretty cool. I didn't expect to see that, but I do understand the idea of Alolan Ninetales and Chi-Yu here for the screen support and then doing more special attack damage. There's the Fake Out pressure that we said. And here's the redirector, right? So you have a redirector and you have the Fake Out mount, which is exactly what we said in the beginning of the video. So these two can help the Kommo setup here and then, you know, take reduced damage mitigation from the Ninetales and then doing more damage with the Chi-Yu. So this makes a lot of sense. Me personally, I probably just throw out this back Scalper and just put in something else. Maybe even something like a Tornadus or something else for the Trick Room matchup. But, you know, the screens can kind of do that. And, you know, it's also helping the back Scalper mode. So I would imagine you bring one or the other. Either bring the Kommo or the back Scalper, something like that. But, again, more ideas that you can consider when using it. So if you want to go that route, you can definitely do that. Is there other like Kommo teams here? So I know, look at all these 6-3 teams. All these 6-3 teams are actually very, very good. But I think that was it. As far as like the Kommo teams on this side. Was there another one that we missed? Here's another Snorlax team. But yeah, that was it. How about here? So White League, if we just go here, again, second place here from Alex. Really, really cool squad again. So Tornadus here for the, you know, the Tailwind support because sometimes Kommo is going to need it even after the +1 boost. Here's that Terra Steel like we said. Here's Landorus. And then here's the Redirector with the Ogerpon. So you have Intimidate and Redirection yet again. No Fake Out option here, but you do have Flutter Mane here for a strong special attack coverage. And then the Okie Dokie with the Assault Vest set also makes a lot of sense. You have Snarl here, so more damage mitigation on this side. Okay, that's actually a pretty smart idea using the Okie Dokie here. But just, again, another way of trying to support the Kommo. Because, again, Kommo doesn't really want to take these fairy type attacks, so Okie Dokie can kind of help you in that regard. But, again, you have the speed control here. And then even, like, Sunny Day, right? Sunny Day is just great for Flutter Mane here. You know, just enabling it to, I don't know if he has a speed boost or a special attacking boost. I feel like it's modest here. But you're going to do more damage. All right? Then make the Ogerpon do more damage. And then at the same time, you're just having the Landorus with the Sunny Day take reduced damage, you know, from water type attacks, right? So it makes sense in that regard. But yeah, move, and then you just have to be careful of like the ice type attacks because 1, 2, 3 Pokemon are weak to ice type attacks. But you know, if it's Chien-Pao, then yet again you have ways around Chien-Pao, of course, right? But this is again another smart idea from Alex. Was there another one? Oh yeah, there's a couple more down here. A couple 5-3 Kommo-O teams. So let's take a look at these. So here's an Illumise at 5-3. That's pretty cool. Again, there's the tail and there's the fake tiers, right? So you can also technically do this, right? So this is what we mean by like again, having your Kommo do extra damage. So you saw the Chiyu variant. Now you have fake tears here. Here's the Clefairy yet again, just like Wolf Click did. So here's the redirection support along with the reduced damage mitigation with the Friend Guard. But again, now you also add Tailwind and fake tears. This is actually really, really cool. All right. And then just standard stuff like, again, Intimidate support, the Arcanine playing the Landorus role, Rillaboom here, you know, fake out pressure, and then Fluttermane here, just another special attacker on the team that can deal a whole bunch of damage. So speed control here, intimidate here, fake out here, redirection here. Lots of things here going on, and I like the squad from Fox. It's another unique way of trying to use Illumise, and if they're watching this, I would love this rental. I would love to try this Illumise team. Makes a lot of sense here. Down here, Mr. Jimmy. All right. So here we go. Okay, so here's the Intimidator. Here's the Fake Outer with the Landorus and Iron Hands. Here's the speed control option with Tornadus. Here's Heatran, and here is the Sinistcha. So this is almost like how I like pairing Heatran and Landorus here with Tornadus. This is actually how we're gonna do it. Okay, and then here again, the Sinistcha idea by just allowing you to, you know, heal the damage that you're gonna be taking from the Clangorous Soul. All right, and then again, you still have redirection support along with speed control with the Rage Powder and the Trick Room coming from the Sinistcha. So it makes a lot of sense here. This is Boom Burst with Throat Spray, right? That's also cool. Probably just didn't want to limit itself to like just one Dragon type attack. But then this is Terra Normal, right? So that's actually pretty cool as well. This is an Overcoat Kommo-O, might I add. So that's pretty cool, right? But again, just more ideas that you can consider as far as like a 6 that you can surround Kommo-O with. But yeah, we'll move on here. All right, Mr. Desu. So Desu here from the VGC Trainer School also had a Kommo-O team, which I think we just missed earlier, right? But Desu here. So again, here's the Fluttermane, here's Rillaboom. So again, Intimidate support, Fake Out pressure, just to help you soak up damage and try and set up that Clangorous Soul. But if you look at it, it's actually not Clangorous Soul at all. It's actually just an Iron Defense body press set. So, you know, this ends up being an endgame option where you're just clicking Iron Defenses and clicking body presses, and then alternating your protects, getting passive recovery with the leftovers and the Grassy Terrain from Rillaboom. And then at the same time, you just have Chien-Pao allowing your Rillaboom and Landorus just to do a little bit more extra damage, right? And then the Gastrodon, Clear Smog support to remove buffs like an opposing Kommo-O or, you know, something like Snorlax or Dondozo. Clear Smog Gastrodon makes a lot of sense here. Ice Beam coverage for, you know, the flying types and an opposing Landorus because Kommo doesn't like dealing with Landorus. So, you know, an ice type coverage here is actually really good here with the Gastrodon. So it makes a lot of sense here. Pretty cool way to utilize it. Then if we go over here into the Superior VGC's Monthly Rumble 4, this is a winning Kommo team with Gothita, which is actually really, really cool. You know, if we just look at it here, a lot of similar ideas, but again, here's the Kommo-O Sinistcha. Again, makes a lot of sense. Again, Rage Powder, Life Dew support, another healing move that you can put with the Kommo. Matcha Gotcha, you know, just creating burn damage. Makes a lot of sense. And then here's another Fake Out Trick Room Pokemon here with Gothitelle. So instead of Redirection Fake Out, we have Fake Out and Speed Control here. I said Speed Control and Redirection with the Sinistcha. Now you have Fake Out Trick Room here. But again, makes a lot of sense. Here's the Landorus Heatran yet again. My favorite duo to pair with Kommo here. And then Iron Hands here just give, yeah, again, another Fake Outer, another Pokemon to like technically abuse the Trick Room here. So makes a lot of sense. I like it a lot. Sinistcha is also something that I've been wanting to try, so I may do some variation with this with Kommo, but I feel like I want to create another team with Sinistcha. But again, you know, just some similar concepts here, but more or less the same ideas. How about here? This is a very recent tour. This was the LOTV tour. And again, the Mickey Mouse, the Mastodon, I remember that. But here's another team here with Kommo. I think we just saw it. I skipped it. Yeah, right here from Sildura. But this one also features yet another Okie Dokie with bulk up set. But Terra Steel yet again. And Polion is also another one that you can also consider on this because it's another steel type like the Heatran. And then your Intimidate is coming from the Arcanine here. So Fire, Water, Grass Core here with the Arcanine, Rillaboom, and Polion. Here's the steel coverage here with the Empoleon. And then, you know, resisting fairy and flying type attacks is important. And there's that Sinistcha yet again. So you're getting a lot of Kommo Sinistcha ideas, right? There's many different ways to use it. We just gave you like 4 or 3 different variants with Sinistcha, but it makes a lot of sense, right? So you might as well just consider using that. But yeah, again, we gave you a bunch of ideas that you can consider if you want to build your own Kommo team. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back into the builder and just give you one more variant, which is our variant that you can use. All right, so let's get back into the builder. Okay, so I mentioned it before and I'll put it here again, of course, now that we're building the team. But I do like this idea of having Landorus as well as Heatran. Again, because of the Intimidate support, right? Because, with the Komm-O getting a little bit more damage than normal from the physical side, you want to at least mitigate that with the Landorus. And then at the same time, Heatran also helps, just as another pivot in for those fairy type attacks, as well as the flying type attacks as well. And then Landorus is also a good pivot for Heatran, just in case ground type attack is coming in. You can switch into the Landorus and then they can whiff it because you are also a flying type. And then from here, I do like Flutter Mane here. So now we got this Dragon Fairy Steel Core with Flutter Mane and another good special attacker. So we have 1, 2, 3 solid special attackers. I do like adding Ogerpon here, and specifically the water variant, because if you just think about it, like Landorus and Heatran, they're both kind of weak to like these water type attacks. But then if we just added this Ogerpon here, with the Follow Me support, okay, the redirection support that we talked about, then this will also definitely help out in that regard, especially the Komm-O trying to set up. So we got Intimidate, we got the redirection support. Let's get a little bit of speed control here. I think it just makes sense to just add something like Tornadus here. Again, double Genie combination with Tornadus and the Landorus here. And then from here, it's just all about having the damage being able to set up with the Komm-O, as well as like Heatran and Flutter Mane here. And then, but for the Trick Room games, you can just have substitute Heatran, which really, really helps in a lot of that stuff. So I think it makes a lot of sense here. So now what we're going to do is just finish off the team with the Movesets here. So with Heatran, we're going to go Leftovers. Then we're going to go Heat Wave. Then we're going to go Earth Power. Good special attack damage. And then Protect here. Tera Grass. Just makes a lot of sense here. Being able to resist those water type attacks, especially like Urshifu for that matter. Flutter Mane here, I still like Booster Flutter. And here you can go Shadow Ball, Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, and then Protect. And then here you can definitely go Tera Fairy. Now, in this regard, you can also technically go Tera Grass or Tera Water if you are going against the Urshifu stuff or even the Ogerpon stuff. But I feel like Tera Fairy for a little bit more damage just makes a lot of sense. This Ogerpon here, so we're going to go Ivy Cudgel. Here's your water type attack. I like Horn Leech for a little bit of recovery, and it's another good grass move. And then Spiky Shield for Protect, right? So this is our standard water pond build. And then the Landorus here with the Choice Scarf, with just Stomping Tantrum, Rock Slide, U-Turn. Your pivot move here is actually really nice. And then Tera Blast, Tera Flying, again, just makes sense here, for your Landorus. So most times the Landorus will just be going for Tera Blast or Stomping Tantrum. Sometimes you want to cycle and just click U-Turn. And Rock Slide is really good against some of those flying types as well. Potential Flinch. Also really good against Fire Ogerpon in that sense. Tornadus here. So I like Tailwind, right? I like Bleak Wind Storm. I like Taunt. Really good against Amoonguss. Really good against, other Trick Room setters if they don't even have the Mental Herb. And then even just like Icy Wind for the mirror matchup, right? So Icy Wind Tornadus, just again against another opposing Tornadus. And then even like a Mental Herb here. So this way they can't taunt you in that sense. So you can always win that potential mirror matchup. If they want to taunt, then they click Icy Wind, or you click Icy Wind. But again, in open team sheets, if they say you have the Mental Herb, they're probably not going to click Taunt. Right? They'll probably just click either Bleak Wind or just Icy Wind themselves. So this is also where like potentially something like the Covert Cloak could come handy. You can also get recovery here with the Citrus Berry. That also makes sense. Or you can go for the chip damage with the Rocky Helmet. Lots of items that you can use on the Tornadus. I'm just throwing them at you. Really just depends on how you want to run it. But I feel like Mental Herb is also still relatively fine here. And then I like Tera Ghost just in case they do give you the fake out pressure. You can always burn the Tera in that sense. Not super great, but if you have to get up that Tailwind, you have to get up that Tailwind. Okay. But this is how I would technically run it at this moment, right? Do we have everything? Yes, we do. So now what we'll do is we'll start giving some EV spreads here for Komm-O. So I feel like you can definitely do two ways. You can go Timid or Modest. If you go Timid, I like something like this hitting 204, because what this does is if you're going against max speed Animate Landorus with Choice Scarf like this, you're capping at 143. right? And you want to be able to go before that Landorus because they're going to be clicking Tera Blast, Tera Flying. Not going to be great. So what you want to do is outspeed that and go with 144 with your Clangorous Soul, right? So you're getting +1, right? So you're a +1 versus his Choice Scarf. So who's going to win? Of course you, because you have the 1 point in speed that is faster than that Landorus, right? So you can definitely do this and then just literally max your special attack like this. You know, get some even numbers in the defenses, right? Because of the +1, and then just dump the rest into HP like this. And what's really convenient about this 156 is, you know, if you just, again, factor in the Clangorous Soul, you know, with, you know, 33% of your max HP, you're taking 51.9999 damage, right? Which rounds down to 51, doesn't round up to 52. So in that sense, it'll optimize it that way. So that's pretty good if you want to go a timid variant, or if you want to go a modest variant, which is more or less the same here, just a tiny bit more damage. You can just go to the second EV bump here. All right. And then what you can do is like go to about 126, 127. So after +1, you'll outspeed the modest max speed Fluttermanes, which for them, they cap at 187. So let me just show you that real quick. Yeah. So if you want to go for 188, you want to just divide by 1.5, which will give you that 126. Right. But again, we just want to outspeed for 127. And then from here, you can literally dump the rest into HP like this, right? And that's your modest variation of Kommo, right? So if you want to go modest, you can definitely do that. But I feel like the speed is definitely valuable here because, you know, again, with Throat Spray and the Clangorous Soul, you're probably already good on damage. So let's go for speed, right? So let's get that 204 variation going, okay? But max speed here for sure. And then 1 point faster than those Choice Scarf Landers. This is actually really, really nice. Heatran here. So I just like going modest here. I like going 204 HP here anytime I have leftovers Heatran, you know, just to optimize the leftovers recovery. I go about 76 here in the special attack, right? And then, you know, 116 is also pretty good here as far as like defense. 107 under Tailwind will outspeed Dragapult, and then you just dump the rest into special defense like this, right? And, you know, with Heatran, the whole idea with this calc is you can survive an opposing Stomping Tantrum, Adamant 116 Landorus with your Intimidate support, right? So depending on the opponent's Landorus spread, if they are just 116 Adamant as opposed to 196 or max speed Landorus, right? If you intimidate their Landorus with your Landorus, you can survive their Stomping Tantrum, right? With this investment. So I feel like that was something worth calculating for, just in case you can't go with Terra Grass. And if they do kill you, then they're probably more than Adamant 116, right? They're probably, you know, 196 for that matter. So it'll give away their spread in that sense. But I like this set. All right, Fluttermane here. So I like going bulky modest. And again, the whole idea with the bulk is you're just able to survive Chien-Pao Adamant attacks, which is why you go bulky Fluttermane in the first place. So we're just going to go one bump here in the special attack investment. And again, if you are a new VGC player and if you're trying to, you know, play competitive Pokemon, and if you're trying to build teams, and if you're trying to figure out EV spreads, you need to understand what EV bumps are. And if you don't know what they are, comment in the video description below, ask what are EV bumps, and I will explain it to you. But, you know, I explain it in all our team building videos, but here's the first one. The second one would be another 80 EVs, right? So the second one is right here at 116, and then the third one here is at 196, right? But we'll just go to the first one here at 36. Then we'll go for enough speed here, about 175. This is also enough to outspeed max speed Dondozos that are Adamant nature because they cap at 174. But this will also undercut our special attack by 1. So this way, we are still getting a modest attack boost. Now, that being said, if you want to try and outspeed some of these Roaring Moons, you have to go to about 180 over here. Sorry, no, 180. Yeah, I believe that's right. Or 189. But again, that's totally fine, right? Because some of those Roaring Moons are bulky anyway. But I still like going at 175 here. And then our bulk here is going to be pretty much the same like our other Fluttermane spreads. This will survive the Chien-Pao Adamant stuff, 108, 204. So that's what we want there. The Ogerpon here. Let's go Adamant. A lot of Ogerpons like to go Jolly. I'm going Adamant. And here's the reason why we're going Adamant. So first, actually, before we do the Ogerpon, let's do the Tornadus. So this way it makes a little bit more sense. I like going Timid here, and I like going at 155 here, you know, for a few reasons. One, because at 155, you know, under Tailwind, that'll get you to 310, right? And what that does is it allows you to outspeed another Fluttermane with a timid speed boosting nature, right? So if you just consider what they have, you know, if they go 205 times 1.5, just a little bit of quick math and calculator, then they cap at 307, right? So the Fluttermane with a +1 speed boost is 307, but with 155 under Tailwind, that gets you to 310. So the 310 outspeeds the 307. So that'll let you outspeed those Fluttermanes with your Tailwind support. And then you can click Icy Wind, and then from there you can let your Kommo-O and or Landorus just, you know, smash them, right, in that sense. So that's really good here. And then at the same time, we're still going to be bulky. We're still going to go 196 HP here, and we're still going to go 228 defense, okay? And then just put 4/4 here, right? And then this is still pretty good as far as like trying to survive like the Urshifu stuff. And then at the same time, the Ogerpon calcs, this will still survive that, especially the fire Ogerpons, which get a +1 attack boost anyway. So if we can just show that, actually let's just show that real quick. Let's go Tornadus here. All right, let's go with a bulky Tornadus. Let's go. What was my set? 196, 228. Sure, let's do that. 196, 228. All right, and then you know these stats don't matter, right? We'll just put 76 here. Okay, so now we go into Ogerpon, the Heart Flame variant. All right, let's just go right here, right? And 50. So if this is adamant, okay, or wait, we have to give it Ivy Cudgel here. So Ivy Cudgel. So let's go adamant 76 first, right? Let's go spot by spot. So Ivy Cudgel here, +1, does a lot, right? It does a lot. But then you realize, okay, wait. Then you can go like Jolly, 252, which is a lot of Ogerpons anyway. Let's go Jolly here, you know, and this is still like doing a lot, right? But you have to also consider like you have a Landorus. So now you just bring it down to neutral. And now it's still, actually, is this doing a lot? Wait, let me see. Oh yeah, we have to bring it to neutral. So let's go like -1 here. So yeah, there we go. So now we brought it to neutral. So, you know, we're still kind of chilling here. And then at the same time, if this was like an adamant nature, all right, that's still pretty good as well, right? Adamant, Heart Flame Mask. Again, I had to like make sure this is the embody aspect one, not the mold breaker one. But yeah, this is also pretty good. But in that sense, you know, you're still bulky enough. You can definitely survive those attacks. So, you know, we just went like a bulky variant here. But if you want to go bold, you can definitely go bold. And we have a lot of bold Tornadus variants on our side. So you can definitely do something like this. As far as like our Landorus here, I just go to like this first bump here. You know, 187. That's pretty good. And then just go like max HP like this. And that's still totally fine. But if you want to go a little bit more, you can do something like this where you're at adamant 116, like we mentioned earlier, for a little bit more damage. And then you still have enough bulk here to do what you need to do, right? But if this is what you want, definitely go for it. Otherwise, if you want a little bit more bulk and still want to play the pivot game, you can just do something like this. And now we can go to the Ogerpon here. So with this Ogerpon, I went to 204. You know, this is so I can get 156 versus these 155s. So I can speed creep and just make myself 1 point faster than those Tornaduses, especially mine. So I don't speed tie, but I'm going for the same thing. I'm trying to outspeed those Flutters as well. Let's go right here, 156. So here's the second bump here. I want to get an even number here because this is getting a Spadef boost. So 118 over here and then 1 point in defense. So, you know, again, with the Landorus Intimidate support, this is actually becoming a little bit more bulky. And then just a little bit of HP here, you know, because that's what we have left over. All right, so this is it. This is the Kommo-O team. You know, just some quick EVs here, but Dragon, Fairy, Steel, Fire, Water, Grass Core, along with some speed control, some redirection, some Intimidate support. We don't have to fake out here, but, you know, still some pretty good ideas here that we put up here. So let's test it out in a couple battles and see how it does. All right, so this one, you know, is interesting. It's back Scalper screens. There's no, well, there is a Chiyu here with a Lecky, I guess. I don't know why people are using a Lecky this format, but there is an Azumarill here, so that's pretty cool. I don't know how you're going to be able to set up potential belly jump plays if that is what you're going for. But nonetheless, he does lead the Grimmsnarl and the Landorus, so Intimidate with maybe Light Screen potential is really good. But Fluttermane Ogerpon seems pretty good here, and the reason why I led this is, again, you know, if he was going for, you know, the Landorus trying to intimidate some of my mons, and we have the Ogerpon here, which is relatively favorable. I was also trying to redirect the Azumarill attacks with the Ogerpon as well. And then from there, you know, I had something against Chiyu if he did decide to put pressure in that sense, right? But this is still pretty good. So he does intimidate the Ogerpon, which is fine. I wanted to go into my own landers just to, you know, repivot and reposition here. I don't know if he wanted to stay in with his landers, but he did. But that's still like good for Dazzling Gleam. He goes for U-turn there. So he goes into a Azumarill here. I'm going to go back into the Ogerpon just in case he did decide to do some Aqua Jet shenanigans. I just want to remove the Grimmsnarl here. There is the Belly Drum, which is interesting. But again, sitting behind screens with the attack boost is good. But, you know, we just redirect his Aqua Jet, which is exactly what he was doing. And now the Alecki does good damage here, but does get a pair, but not enough. And that's really good damage from the Moonblast here. I could have also clicked Dazzling Gleam, but I decided to do that right here, you know, as opposed to the first turn to remove the Azumarill. And now we're kind of just chilling here, and the Alecki, of course, just clicks forfeit. So Fluttermane as a lead was really good here. He didn't really have a way to stop that. Otherwise, if he did, then he probably would have did it. But that was an easy one. Okay, so this is a pretty cool mirror here. So you have the again the Snorlax, Sinistcha, Clefairy idea with Kommo-O, almost essentially a mirror. And then he had two other Pokemon here that don't make sense. So you know, but again, it's still like interesting in that sense, right? I understand what he's trying to do. There's a fake out bond here, Revival Blessing. This is probably like Trick Room Denial stuff. So in the essence, that's still pretty good here. But he goes with Snorlax and his Clefairy, so he's probably going to go for Belly Drum. I go for Kommo and Tornadus here. And, you know, I can still freely set up my Clangorous Soul here just because, you know, there's not a lot of damage going on here. There's probably just Follow Me, Belly Drum here. But, you know, Kommo doesn't have the greatest of matchups here. I can probably click Flash Cannon and remove this Clefairy. But, you know, and then from there, I just go with Ogerpon and Landers in the back. So that's ideally what I wanted to do. I wanted to just taunt the Snorlax, and he did go for the Belly Drum here, by the way. So Clangorous Soul looking pretty good here. And like I said, he did go for that Belly Drum, and there is the Dazzling Gleam here. So that's good damage. But I can also just go Terra Steel now and kill this Clefairy. But I figured he might switch that and just try and maybe soak it up with something like Chandelure, which is why I still clicked it anyway. I understand the Snorlax has pretty good SpDef, so he's going to take this relatively comfortably. And I was fine with that, but, you know, it turns out the Clefairy didn't switch, but I taunted it anyway just to make a mid-ground play. But that's unfortunate for me, so in that sense, I still lose it. But that's fine, because now we have two taunted Pokemon here. I go back into the Landers here just to intimidate the Snorlax, right? He goes into Kommo here. I want to get rid of the Clefairy because that thing's support is too good. He goes for Facade here because he can't really click Stomping Tantrum, so that's still pretty good for Mir. So we just remove his Kommo here, and then we just go for our Ivy Cudgel, and we just remove the Snorlax, which is nice. And now it's just Sinistcha and Clefairy. All we have to do is just remove the Clefairy, double in. I know this Clefairy probably doesn't have Protect, so we just want to go Terra Blast here. And I wanted to click Ivy Cudgel, but I click Hornleech anyway, which is a mistake because now this Clefairy lives. But there's the Strength Sap, and you know, there's Helping Hands. But again, just Terra Blast over there just in case he didn't. Just remove the Clefairy. Double target is fine. You know, Matcha Gotcha is just, you know, gonna let him heal. So I'm just gonna switch out, go into my Tornadus here. Still click Hornleech for a little bit of recovery just to keep my Ogerpon healthy. Matcha Gotcha yet again. But now, here's the thing. He doesn't have the greatest of special defenses. So we're just gonna keep chipping him here. And this is enough to remove him. And even if it wasn't, Landers was definitely going to clean things up in the back end. So yeah, our we didn't have the greatest of position with our Kommo-O, but that's because we called it wrong. But again, Ogerpon and Landers were still enough to finish things off there. But yeah, here's that pace one more time. So again, you know, a lot of these teams, they're going to be utilizing Kommo with Sinistcha and then some redirection support along with speed control, whether it's Trick Room or Tailwind. Those are the kind of things you want to support Kommo with, as well as fake out pressure, just to be able to set up your Clangorous Soul, right? To be able to set up your Clangorous Sails, right? I always confuse the two sometimes. But here's our variant. So you still have Intimidate, you still have speed control here with Tailwind and Icy Wind. Substitute is pretty good into the Trick Room games. And then you still have strong special attackers with Fluttermane, Kommo, and Heatran over here, along with the Tornadus, I guess. But your physical damage with Landers and Ogerpon is very, very good. The Water Ogerpon is going to be very, very useful, especially against you know, just you know, supporting the Landers and the Heatran, you know, just in case water type attacks want to go in there. You have the water Ogerpon to potentially pivot out from there, right? So give this one a go. Let me know how you do. At least it's a starting point if you wanted to use Kommo-O. But, you know, Clefairy stuff with Sinistra is relatively good. If you wanted to do something like, you know, a Kommo with the Tornadus, this is another variant of using. Here's our variation, right? Otherwise, you know, the other 6 teams that he showed you are still relatively consistent ways of doing it. All right. If you're interested in team building, you know, just like this, like we advertise on the channel, again, sign up for coaching. You know, it's a tier 3 sub to the channel. If you click the video description below, there is a link to join the channel with the tier 3 sub. Or if you look in the comment section, you know, same link, you're able to join with that tier 3. And then from there, we go in a Discord call and then we build the team from scratch, just like how we did this. And then from there, we get you that squad that we need for either a player challenge, you know, some regional that's coming up in October. All right, as well as, you know, just like another online ladder team that you want to play. You know, we got you covered here on the channel. So feel free to sign up for coaching with that tier 3 sub. All right, we'll be back with another video in the next one. Peace out and have a good night.